Hello, beautiful souls. I'm so glad that you could join with me today. I took the necklace off, so I won't interrupt the microphone. I didn't realize that was happening yesterday, so I apologize. We're going to pull some cards for the collective. Let's see what messages Spirit has. Have you ever had like multiple days in a row where the same cards keep getting pulled and you're like, no, I got the message. I got it. I feel like my daily polls keep showing me the same things, and I'm like, no, yeah, thank you. Like, am I missing something? Because I'm not getting any clarifying from it. But this is a different message than what I got, by the way. So let's talk about this message that Spirit is offering. If you've come across this video, maybe it's for you. I'm feeling like there is a combined, conflicting emotions here. It's not fully a sense of futility or feeling disappointed or frustrated, um, or as though you're completely lost and confused and unable to push forward. But also there is a sense of frustration about your progress and perhaps a lack of clarity. Maybe that is the same message that I was getting. This kind of. Um, So it does feel like there are some issues here that still need to be worked through. Cards here are talking about a mindset that is pretty tried and true, though. Like when you're struggling, if you're feeling conflicted, if you're feeling a little bit confused, a little bit scared, a little bit lost, a little bit as though you're in a dark place, as though you're like things are going very well ultimately, but emotions are heavy. It feels very heavy right now. It feels a little bit like try as you might to work past these difficulties and be on top all the time. It's kind of exhausting at times, right? Like that fake it till you make it is no joke. Like it's not an easy thing to do. You're gonna have days that you just feel like giving up and being like, really, like, when do I get my break, right? So this is the reassurance that Spirit is offering us. Spirit saying first and foremost, you knew that you had to put the work in, and you knew that the amount of work that was going to be required in order for you to reach your goals is going to be substantial. This is no small feat here. This is not like, oh, I put in the work for a week. This was years and years and years to get to where you are today. And there's still more to go. But you're doing such a good job of organizing what needs to be done and you're putting it all together. It just feels as though there's no time to celebrate. There's no time to relax. There's no time to let your guard down. This very industrious, consistent, diligent all the time. And that does become heavy. That does become very weighing on your soul and your spirit. And sometimes you do just need to take a day. I think sometimes we have to take mental health days the same way that we take sick days, where we just allow ourselves to just exist and say, you know what, today I'm not going to get it all done. And that's going to have to be okay because it's just not going to happen. So the the part that feels uplifting in this reading with the chariot is that spirit is giving you permission to take those days of just rejuvenating, preparing. You have to rest before the big race, right? You have to be able to take those moments where you stop and get some water. You got to feed the horse, or whatever. I always think of the chariot like those ancient Roman races. And, they have this whole team, except you don't have a team. It's just you. It's just you and your horse and your chariot, and you're responsible for making sure that your chariot's in good order, and you're responsible for taking care of your horse and making sure that your horse isn't sick and your horse gets bedded down every night and gets proper food and hydration and rest and exercise and training. And then you've got to do it for yourself too. You've got to make sure that all your preparations are in order. You've got the right gear, that you've had sleep and you've had nutrition and you've been hydrating yourself, and that all the things have to be ready for the race in order to win it. It's not just you hop on and you just go. You're not just going to win a marathon the first time you try to run a marathon. It's like impossible for most people. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like just a phenomenal endurance and fast runner and all these great things and stuff. There's probably, but that's not realistic, is it? This reading feels a lot more realistic. This reading feels a lot more like, yeah, yep. It's okay to be tired sometimes. What you don't change is the confidence about winning your race. What you don't change is that you're consistently going. Like, you might feel like sometimes you're just tired and you want to give up, but you know that you can't. You know that you'll never get where you want to be if you do that. You know it's not possible. You take a break. You can rest, you can recover, you can do what you need to do. We can even have a day where we let those feelings just kind of pour onto us and you don't even get out of bed. I did not bother to do a whole bunch today. I put on my comfy clothes today. So today is a put your comfy clothes on today. Um, I know that I'm going to get where I need to be. I know I'm going to win. I know I am. But I also know that this level of precision and this level of work is tiring. And so I have to give myself some grace today. I have to give myself some patience today. I have to make sure to tend to all the details that will ensure that I make it to the end of the race. Energy changes from day to day, from week to week, from month to month. It goes in cycles. And being patient with ourselves and understanding that this is the long haul. This is the delayed gratification, because we're not going to have that instant win. This isn't about luck. This is about something that you've been building up for. And so spirit is like, hey, it's okay to just, even the sun hides behind the clouds some days. So you can do that too if you need to. But what's important is that you let it out instead of stuffing it down, and that you don't give up. Pick yourself up tomorrow and get ready to win that race. Kind of a little bit more uplifting uh, message. But I still feel like this does go into alignment with that message of taking those moments to appreciate what we have, to celebrate where we are, how far we've come. I mean, you're still a lot farther than where you started. Doesn't mean you're done. Doesn't mean that you don't have longer to go. But these cards are reassurance that we are supported, we are loved, we are being guided along the way. We have the assistance that we need, all the resources that we need. We also need to take time to love life, to enjoy it, especially when it feels really heavy. Give yourself that opportunity to celebrate your wins that you've already accomplished. You're not giving up on what you want by enjoying what we have. You're not settling by appreciating the moment and being present and just really taking some time to celebrate you and all you've accomplished already. Spirit wants us to enjoy life. Spirit doesn't want us to just be workhorses. We're not supposed to just grind, 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 go, 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 even though it feels like the world is forcing us to do this without any breaks. You have permission to rest. You have permission to enjoy yourself today. You have permission to go spend time with your family and your loved ones and do nothing accept, enjoy what you have, what you've worked for already, what you've accomplished, even if that means just, I'm just going to rest today. Sometimes we just have to say, what I've got is pretty good too. Like, it's good. I'm loved, I'm cherished, I've done a lot of work. I have accomplished so much more than anyone ever thought I ever would. I've gotten farther into my goals. I've reached back into my childhood dreams. Now, what is it that I want? What do I really want? Me, without being told what I want, without changing my life in any way to accommodate survival, meet the needs of other people. When I pulled back and started to really examine who I was and what I wanted, started to realize there was all these parts of myself that I had kind of hidden away. And this is that confirmation that, like, who you are in all aspects, your ups, your downs, when you're grinding, when you're chilling, when you're just relaxing, when you're celebrating your loved ones, celebrating yourself, when you're creating art, making music, when you're writing, when you're reading, when you're doing absolutely nothing but staring at the wall for 3 hours just because your brain needed a break. That's all good stuff too. It's not all fight for your wins, fight for your goals. Sometimes it's, I'm fine right now. There's nothing pressing on me right now. There's nothing that I can do today, right now, that's going to make anything else come easier, smoother, or faster for me tomorrow. In fact, if I take today, if I rest today, if I feel what feels right for me today, probably going to feel a lot better tomorrow. Probably going to be able to do a lot more and be more productive. All week, I was just grinding. I was getting so much done. I was on it and I was feeling really good about that. And then I woke up today and I was just like, ah, just, I need a rest. I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust that feeling. And I'm just going to give myself an opportunity to just be happy with what I've done already. The fact that I've already started on these goals and that I've already accomplished so much towards this, I don't give myself enough credit for that. And I don't give myself permission to rest nearly enough. Today, I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust that my guides are working everything out in my favor. And that when I feel that vibe to chill, to relax, to put myself down into bed, in the comfy clothes, and not worry about tomorrow, that I'm trusting the process. So celebrate yourself today, celebrate your wins, celebrate everything that you've already done, and then you do what feels right. If it feels like you just need to, you know, do some pre-shower makeup and then go spend 45 minutes in there and then crawl right back into bed with some snacks and binge watch TV, then yeah, you know what? Then do that. You deserve it. You've earned it. Love yourself today. Give yourself the love today. So there is a message here that we're getting more than one side of a situation. And we have feelings about the situation, and we're realizing that it's just not as cut and dry or as black and white as we thought it was. There's a part of this that is, you can understand what's been happening. Like, you can understand that person's perspective. And also there's a side that you're like, but it could have been like this. There is some grace here that has to be provided. The messages today is just a lot of grace, but I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. So we want to hold on to this shoulda, coulda, woulda that is being applied to. The other card that I got was empathy and inner peace. So it was like You don't control the narrative, and you can't control how other people see and think about things, including yourself. So I'm getting maybe some of the opinions are either directed at you or about a situation you are involved in or somebody that you care about. It's closely connected to you, and it's frustrating to know that you can't control that narrative. People are going to come up with their own impressions of things. They're going to have their own ideas about what's transpired or what is transpiring. They're going to look at you and be like, "Oh yeah, you got it all together. You don't need any help." And you know that that's just not. Nothing's that simple. Everything's so much more complicated and so much more. There's so many more details that matter. But we also cannot run ourselves ragged trying to convince other people of the truth. Sometimes it just isn't that important in the grand scheme of things. And that's what I'm getting from this is just like we just have to let go of what other people are saying about it. That eventually reality will, and I think this message came up yesterday that like spirit guides are going to show you, like they're going to see the reality of the situation eventually. And if they don't, who cares? Is that really something that you got to spend your energy on? Because ultimately, there's a different version of you and a different version of the situation in the minds of every single person. I feel like I'm being reminded of this like you're the villain in somebody's story everywhere. Like it doesn't matter how well you conducted yourself or how much effort you put into doing right by a situation. Somebody's out there tearing you up for something that you did, whether it's this situation or another situation. Like you were the villain in their story. And even if you never intended to be the villain, even if you were doing your best and you thought you made all the right choices, that's just not something we have control over. And spending our time and energy allowing that to eat away at us is pretty damaging to our own experience, to our own focuses. There's a moment where you just have to kind of let it go and you just have to recognize that, like, there's probably people that you think were the villain in your story would never see themselves as that. And whether they're right or wrong doesn't matter. That's not the issue. Spirit's just trying to show us that, like, as much as we want to have all of the truth out there and all of it be the truth from our perspective, we can't allow that to affect how we feel. And in a lot of cases, the most important thing is that you can walk away knowing that you did your best, knowing that you did the everything that you learned in that moment, you took it and you used it. And you're okay with how you handled yourself. So you lay your head down and you can sleep at night feeling okay with that. We cannot control what other people's reaction is to that. So allowing it to affect who we are, allowing it to affect how we feel about the situation is just kind of wasted energy. So I'm just kind of getting in this is just very much a forgiveness energy of allowing it to be because with the tools that they have to interpret the situation, with the skills and experience that they have to interpret the situation, they've also done their best. That doesn't mean that that's how it's going to always be. And I'm just getting that, like, down the road, either new facts are going to come to light to them or to you, to where all of a sudden it's just makes more sense and it's more acceptable You're going to change their view of the situation. You're going to change your view of the situation. We're going to grow from this. But we have to sometimes just be. We just have to accept and keep flowing. Take that rest day, take that day of giving yourself grace and acceptance, and trust that the right comes to light, and it's going to work out fine. It's not going to affect you. It's not going to hurt you because you did what felt right in the moment. And whether that was the perfect response or not isn't really the issue here. The the focus is more that you're able to learn and grow from it, and you're able to be at peace with your own play in this situation, and that you're able to be at peace with the fact that other people might not see it that way. Because ultimately they don't crawl into your head at night. They're not there. They don't know all the details that you do from your perspective. And maybe the truth isn't so cut and dry after all. Maybe down the road you're going to understand this from a different perspective as well. So allow yourself to be comfortable with that in the moment, and don't allow that to affect your feelings going forward. Accept that you want to always do better and always be the best that you can be. And that's enough. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Thank you for sharing your stories and opening up to me when it feels like these messages resonate. I love to hear from you, and I love to be in this experience.